Just a little bit background on who we are. So we founded Lizardindicators back in 2014, together with Harry, also known as Fat Tails in the NinjaTrader ecosystem. And over time, we've grown to support a broad spectrum of traders, fully discretionary, as well as those that are developing fully automated systems. So all in all, I think we've earned a pretty good reputation for both the depth of our tools and the transparency of the way that we develop them. So case in point, our library here, indicator library, is a collection of 145 open source indicators. So you can get that for a one-time fee of $195. And once you're in, that's it. No subscriptions or ongoing charges there. And then we also have a premium collection, including proprietary tools for more advanced filtering, timing, and execution logic. And today I'm pretty excited to share with you something that brings our tools to life in a new way, the Strategy Toolbox. It's a framework to turn trading ideas into a rule-based approach, so that you'll have clear objective rules that define exactly when and how to trade. So it's about identifying a set of conditions that have to be met before a signal can trigger. And that way you can also test whether your setup has a statistical edge before actually putting your hard-earned capital at risk. So here's the outline. I'll use our premium Ichimoku indicator as an example on how to apply this framework today. We'll start off just explaining the general concept, enough to understand the logic that goes into producing the key and consecutive signals here. And then we'll show you the NinjaScript strategy template that will let you test and optimize using different parameters and time filters, exit requirements, including break-even trigger or a trailing stop loss. And finally, we'll introduce a new component of the Strategy Toolbox today, the ATM Master Strategy Template. That is a pretty good step forward for semi-automated traders, I think, because it allows you to launch trades that use tested logic, and then you can manage them live through NinjaTrader's chart trader interface, giving you both structure and flexibility. All right, so if it's your first time seeing the Ichimoku indicator, might be a little bit overwhelming, but at its core, it's just a multi-time frame trend and momentum indicator. So you have 5 main components here, and we'll look at them one by one. So the Tenkan-sen, the blue line, Kijun-sen, red line, and then you have the Kumu cloud with Senko span A and B, and then you have the Chico here. And so if we begin with the Tenkan-sen, that's the blue line, calculated as the midpoint between the 9-period high and low. And the Kijun-sen uses the same formula, but over a 26-period range. So the relationship here is more or less like a 9 versus 26-period moving average. A classic signal is to wait for the cross, Tenkan-sen crossing above or below the Kijun-sen. And that's pretty effective, but it will not materialize very often during strong trends. So you can look for additional signals when price crosses the Kijun-sen or the Tenkan-sen lines. But if you do that, you want to qualify the setups with thrust bars, and we'll circle back to how we define those shortly. So here's the Kumo, the cloud, the Ichimoku's most recognizable feature. So that's 2 lines projected 26 bars into the future. So Senko span A and Senko span B. The A span is the average of the Tenkan and the Kijun-sen, and the B span is the midpoint of the 52-period high and low. So when the A span is above the B span, you'll see a green cloud as we see here, bullish trend. And when it drops below the B span, then you have a red cloud and a bearish trend. And then for sideways scenarios, the price would be interacting with the cloud as we see here. And that is generally consolidating markets. And then the Chico span, the final component here. So that's the current closing price displaced just 26 bars backwards. And that is used as a momentum filter. So for long trades, the Chico span should be above from where the market traded 26 bars ago. And for shorts, vice versa, it should be below. Just a simple way to see whether momentum is supporting your trade here. So by using these components, you can set the trend requirements. And by default, we've set it to include 3 of the available trend filters that come with the Ichimoku. So first, we want the price to be above the Kijun-sen. And then we want to have this cross to have occurred. So the Tenkan-sen has to be above the Kijun-sen for the bullish scenario. And finally, we want the price to be above the Kumo, above the cloud. And when all those conditions are true, you have a bullish green paint bar trend, as we see here. And when they're all reversed, it's the bearish bias. And if some of the conditions contradict one another, that's when you have these neutral scenarios with gray paint bars. So that helps filter out trades during uncertain or ambiguous price action. Personally, I just like to display the trend via the paint bars. It improves a bit the overall visibility, and then I can focus on the trade signals, which, as I mentioned, have to be thrust bars. So let's have a look at the definition for the thrust bars. First, you want to have a significant range, so at least half the size of the average range. And for a bullish scenario, the signal bar should also have a close above its open, so a up close. And the close should be in the upper half of the range. And then finally, the close should be above the high of the previous bar. So if you see the signal here qualifies for all of those requirements. Now, we also make a distinction between key and secondary signals. So a key signal follows a trend reversal. So going from bearish here to neutral and then into bullish. So this is the start of a new trend. And then you have the secondary signals. That is more of a trend continuation opportunity. So we went from bullish here to neutral and then bullish again. And as you see here on the chart, the key signals have the key signal has a double triangle, whereas the secondary ones are identified with these single arrows. Okay, so next we want to find out what our chances are with trading these signals. What's the probability? Is there a statistical edge? And to do that, we work with the NinjaScript strategy template we created for the premium Ichimoku. And so what we see here are a few of the options available via the strategy analyzer dialog box. So first, you can choose between taking only key signals, which, as I mentioned, mark the beginning of a new trend, or all signals, so both key and the secondary for trend continuation. And then next, you can also define a directional preference. So the strategy can run in long or short only mode, or you can let it take positions in both directions, as we have allowed it to do here. And then there is also the auto reverse option, which tells the strategy to automatically close an open trade and then enter the opposite direction. And finally, we have the time exit feature, which is very useful for testing the edge or the predictive value of the signal. It gives you the ability to look at signal behavior in isolation before making more complex trade management decisions. We'll get back to that in a minute, because you'll typically first want to define when to enter the trades in the first place. So that is your trading window, and is one of the most important filters when testing or running a strategy. That's partly about intraday seasonality, the fact that some setups work well in high volatility environments, like early in the session, and others that perform better during range-bound and low volatility scenarios. So instead of trading the entire session, you'll want to define a specific time window when the setup is more likely to produce consistent results. So, for example, I'm based in Europe, and I prefer to take trades in the early part of the session here. So I might define my window from 8:30 to 11. And so if a signal triggers at 10:59, that's still a valid entry. But that doesn't mean that the position will close at 11:01. That's the exit time, which is something different. So you can define the exit time at 1 o'clock here, just before the US pre-market opens, to clear out positions before new volatility enters the market. So this two-layer time structure, trading window for entries and exit time for closing open positions, will give you a lot of control over when and how trades are managed without needing to code anything. So once we've defined the entry window, the next step is to find out if it has predictive value. And that's where these time-based exits come in. So instead of doing an initial test based on fixed targets and stops, I'll measure performance by simply closing the trade after 3, 5, or 10 bars, giving me a clean way to test whether the market tends to move in my favor shortly after the signal. If price is just drifting or chopping sideways after the signal, that's not really a predictive setup. It's noise, and I've yet to find any edge in noise. So you want to consistently see immediately follow through, and if you see that, then you have something to work with, and you can start looking at different trade management options. If I don't see that initial reaction, then for me, there is not really much point in optimizing further. That would just be more or less polishing randomness. So here's an example of a 5-minute chart of the micro NASDAQ contract, testing with a 5-bar exit in the strategy analyzer. And as you see, we only take key signals, both long and short. We don't have a profit target, 72 ticks. And looks to be a profit factor here, 1.53 over a total of 97 trades. So looks to be some predictive power here, at least at first glance. And based on that, you'd look at ways to optimize performance and adapt a trade management approach that fits your trading style. Often there will be a lot of focus on optimizing the indicator values, experimenting with different trend requirements and look-back periods, seeing how that impacts performance. For me, the more logical starting point is to see how it responds to different trade management approaches. So you can check out a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3 risk reward ratio using a fixed profit target and stop loss to start with. And with the NinjaScript template here, you also have additional trade management options. So you can check how performance is affected by using a break-even stop loss trigger after X amount of profit, or to experiment with trailing stop loss. So here's an example of that. 2 lots. The first profit target was reached. And then we told the strategy to move the stop for the second lot to the entry price. And that way we had a risk-free scenario for the second lot here, avoiding it going from a winning to a losing trade. You could have made more profit on this, of course, but just to show you how the break-even stop is implemented here. In this scenario, we have a trailing stop for the second lot. There is no profit target for the second position here, so the trailing stop handles the exit, allowing you to stay in the position without limiting the upside here. So once you've found an approach that aligns with the way you like to trade, your risk profile, and that shows positive expectancy, the question becomes how to transition into a live scenario. And from what I've seen over the years, many get tripped up by going for the fully automated approach. Technical side is one thing, ensuring a stable environment, using a VPS or a local setup. But then there's also the risk tolerance element of it. And it turns out that the slogan, set it and forget it, is a lot easier said than done. And part of this is that we often disagree with the stop loss and profit target placement in a live market, because that's, of course, based on what was found to be the optimal setting in the backtesting scenario. And the template only relies on the signals here, so it will not know how to align your stop loss, for example, with the current market structure. Nor will it know whether your target is placed just below or above an important resistance level. And if you try to move the orders, you will find them move back on bar close. So once you've activated a conventional NinjaScript strategy, you're sort of stuck with your preset order levels. And that is where the ATM master strategy comes in. When the conditions for the NinjaScript templates are met, it will also launch your trade management template, so the ATM strategy. And that means that you will benefit from a validated signal logic while maintaining discretion over exit using the chart trader. So you can move the stops and targets manually, adapt to what you see in the live market. You just keep in mind that this is market orders, and that is intentional because it ensures compatibility with the exit timing rules and the auto reverse logic. So if the strategy was using limit orders, so those exit and reverse options would not work properly. So here's what it looks like in practice. When the strategy is launched, the chart trader is automatically activated, and you'll see two buttons here towards the top. One will allow you to toggle the Ichimoku strategy on or off. And so if you want to avoid new trades during news events, you can toggle the strategy to off, temporarily pausing new entries. And the other button here is a directional filter with settings for both long and short, and then long only and short only. So if you see a clear trend based on a separate price benchmark, for example, the VWAP, or a higher time frame swing trend chart, you can toggle to trigger only the long or the short setups. And once the trade is live, you can use your mouse to adjust the profit target and stop losses directly on the chart, just like a manual trade. The trailing stops, of course, will continue based on your ATM settings. And if you've configured a time exit, the master strategy will automatically deactivate the ATM after N bars or close, and reverse if that option is selected. So in this example, we adjusted for a more volatile scenario and placed the stops under the most recent swing lows, and the first profit target aligning with the day high, whereas the other was moved further out to account for a breakout event. So as you see, this offers the best of two worlds: structure and automation on the entry side, discretion and adaptability on the exits. So it's a more accessible way to integrate a tested logic into your real world trading routine, and lets you apply chart-based logic that a conventional NinjaScript strategy wouldn't be able to do. All right. So that is one example of what you can do with our Strategy Toolbox resources. This is part of a bigger framework to determine when a trading setup works, when it doesn't, and how to manage risk when the environment changes. So other than the premium Ichimoku indicator that we've looked at today, we also have NinjaScript templates for the candlestick pattern and the swing trend indicators, as well as the zero lag oscillator. And we'll add the ATM templates for those two shortly. And yeah, as you've seen, this framework lets you define signal filters and contextualize the setup to ensure you're not trading noise. And now with the ATM master strategy, you can execute trades with structure while adapting to the recent price action as well. And finally, we also have a bunch of Bloodhound and Blackbird resources if you work with the Shark Indicators products. So that includes tutorials and sample templates showing how to implement with our premium and library suites. And for this event, we put together a bundle with the premium Ichimoku, the library, as well as the Strategy Toolbox. So you'll then have access to everything we talked about in this presentation. Our regular rate for this is just north of $800. And with our bundle rate of $645, you get the library almost free of charge. As for the Strategy Toolbox, it is something that we just launched and still available at the intro rate, but we will adjust pricing for this as we add more content. As mentioned, we'll add the ATM templates for a few of the other premium tools next month. So it's probably the last time you see it offered at the introductory rate. So head on over to lizardindicators.com/toolbox to lock that in. And if you already have the library, just log into your account and follow the toolbox link to get your membership rate. I think that's pretty much what I had for today. Many thanks for joining in. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them now. And you can also always reach me via the contact form or by Lizard Indicators or by email at info@lizardindicators.com. Is this strategy toolbox only for the Ichimoku indicator or for any indicator? So we've started with some of our entry timing tools in the premium suite for the NinjaScript templates that we've discussed here today. Maybe I'll exit this here and then I'll be able to show you on our website how it looks. Let's see here. So here we have the Strategy Toolbox homepage. And then we have two sections, just as with our indicator suites, a library toolbox and a premium toolbox. And the library toolbox, those talk about different setups that we've discussed on our blog previously. And we show how to implement with the tools from Shark Indicators, so Bloodhound and Blackbird. And then in the premium toolbox, we have these NinjaScript templates for our premium suite tools, so including the candlestick patterns, the Ichimoku that we talked about today, the swing trend, and the zero lag oscillator. And if you go here to the Ichimoku area, you'll find the download files, the NinjaScript sample strategy, as well as the master ATM strategy, and then a little tutorial here on how to implement that in your chart trader. So will this work with other premium chart traders? So it's developed for our premium suite. So if you go to the home page, you'll find our premium indicators here. And we've started with the most important entry timing tools. So those are giving signals that you're able to test immediately. The auction bars we wanted to add as well, but seeing that this is working mainly with market orders, we'll put that on the back burner for now. But yeah, you'll see the NinjaScript templates work with these 4 premium suite tools to start off with. So again, the candlestick pattern indicator, the Ichimoku, the swing trend, and the zero lag oscillator. So Heinz, if you just want the strategy toolbox, that's fine. I think you're a member of the library, so just go ahead and log into your account up here, and then once you get to the membership page, you can navigate to the toolbox page, and then you'll find more information on how to access the toolbox. And our membership rate is $3.95. Akhtar, I think your question is on the a bundle with just the Ichimoku and the strategy toolbox. DM me on that, and I'm sure we can put together something for you. So send me a message and I'll see what we can do. So here's the link again to register for the event special. If you've been wondering where to start for a more methodic approach to trading, I think this is a good opportunity to dive into it and get some good resources from the Strategy Toolbox to guide you along the way. As mentioned, for existing library members, just log into your account and follow the link to the Strategy Toolbox to get access. I think we'll have the bundle up here for the balance of this month. So head on over to Lizardindicators/toolbox to get that. Let's see if I can drop that in the chat as well. Make it easier for you to head on over. Hope this session has been informative and gives you some inspiration for how to take the next step in your trading journey, whether you're just starting to optimize a live system. The Strategy Toolbox has something for everyone. So I look forward to seeing you in the members area sometime soon. Kris Lassen signing off from Berlin. Take care and bye-bye.